Good evening. You're watching To The Point. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. Well, it was curtains down on the second phase of polling in Bihar today. Important phase. Many people actually reckon that it is the decider phase because maximum number of seats went to vote today, 94. That also means that the campaign for phase 3 has started, and this is what actually took place. And we're showing you these visuals. Not that crowds actually seem to suggest that one person is more popular, or the fact that Nitish Kumar got pelted with onions or stones seem to suggest he's extremely unpopular. But the fact is it did happen. And this is clear anti-incumbency, many would suggest at one point, and the others that this was possibly orchestrated by the opposition, which is the Mahagathbandhan. Whichever it is, these optics don't look good. So let's move on now to what the campaigning in the third phase has been all about. The Prime Minister today culminated his Bihar campaign with 2 rallies. "94 seats across 7 districts through central Bihar. As curtains down on the second phase of polling in Bihar, the final campaign peaks in the state. The Chief Minister facing visible anti-incumbency. Also, on Tuesday, faced onions and stones pelted at him. While the star campaigner of the NDA, the man BJP hopes will stem the anti-incumbency against their Chief Minister face Nitish. Narendra Modi, in his final assault during his last campaign in Bihar, invoked Bharat Mata Ki! Jai Shri Ram to Bharat Mata, and once again, the era of Jungle Raj.
Bharat Mata Ki! बिहार में जंगल राज लाने वालों के साथियों को भारत माता से दिक्कत है। ये भारत माता के विरोधी अब एकजुट होकर बिहार के लोगों से वोट मांगने के लिए आए हैं।
Tejashwi stuck to the poll narrative of lack of jobs, employment and economic justice.
आज बिहार के लोग पढ़ाई, दवाई, कमाई, सिंचाई, महंगाई और सुनवाई और कार्रवाई वाली सरकार को चुनना चाहते हैं। मुझे पूरा भरोसा है कि लोकतंत्र में सब लोग अपने मतों का इस्तेमाल करके बदलाव जरूर करेंगे।
While Rahul Gandhi in the third phase of campaign attacked both Nitish and the Prime Minister.
बिहार का हर युवा जानता है कि नीतीश जी ने और नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने मिलकर बिहार को लूटा है, बिहार के किसान को मारा है, पीटा है, कुचला है, बिहार के छोटे दुकानदारों को नष्ट किया है।
It is the Gathbandhan versus the Mahagathbandhan. Which will trump, we will only know when that last vote is counted on the 10th November. Till then, the campaign for the last phase unfolds for 7th November, when 78 seats will vote across 15 districts. Bureau Report, India Today. So it's the incumbent Nitish Kumar versus the challenger Tejashwi. It is Jungle Raj versus what Tejashwi says, economic justice. Which one will prevail? We'll only know when that last vote is counted come the 10th of November. But let's cut across to our guest this evening. I have Rahul Srivastava, who's been covering this election. He's joining us from Bihar. I have Anand Madhab, Congress member. I have Syed Zafar Islam, BJP MP. I want to quickly, before, if our political panelists allow us, go across to Rahul Srivastava. Rahul, would you set the premise right now? Because a month and a half back, one would suggest this was a done deal for the NDA. It's coming up to be a formidable challenge right now, where Tejashwi Yadav seems to have completely come in his own. Phase 2 is done. We are looking at phase 3, the final fag end of the campaign now being fought.
Preeti, I will say that one hope that after a phase with 94 seats, the maximum in all the 3 phases, with BJP enjoying a slight edge because of Nitish Kumar switching over sides, and also the fact that this was a region dominated by the upper caste, one thought that the picture may clear. But I think the picture has muddied further, because why I say that is that if Nitish and BJP are together, they won 30 and 20 seats last time around. and things are hunky-dory, that Nitish has anti-incumbency, but BJP is lifting him, and the combination does have certain amount of chemistry, then the BJP should be comfortable. It's not. And if there is a lot of anti-incumbency and BJP does not have as much traction in Bihar because of its communal rhetoric, then again, I don't think RJD is feeling very comfortable. Why I say that? Because today, I've covered elections since 1989 in Bihar. I saw a great degree of restlessness. That restlessness, whether it will really transcend beyond the caste conundrum and the caste equations, but I heard voices and noises against them. I heard migrants, those who have left or their family members who are still here, talking about the fact that they want jobs, and not just jobs in terms of quantity. They want jobs in quality, in terms of what they have seen in Maharashtra, Gujarat and other places. There have been floods in the past, but I never heard so much of complaint in terms of the quality of relief which has been provided to them. The kind of roads, the kind of education. I met a member of the Indian rugby team, women team, and she said that her degree, course which lasts 3 years, is not over. In the 4th year, it may take 5 years. She was looking for a better educational system. I think that resentment and noises can actually breach the caste divide. And that is why I say that despite dominance of certain castes and others in certain regions, is it that Bihar is for the first time moving beyond them and looking into real issues? And if that is happening, I think even the best pollsters and political parties can't really predict which way it is going.
Well, would it come down to the wire? That's what, the question is. We wouldn't know that. We'll only know what goes down on the 10th of November. Appreciate you joining us, Rahul Srivastav, National Affairs Editor, now would be covering the third final phase of elections. Let's cut across to our political panelists, Anand Madhab, Congress, and Syed Zafar Islam. Syed Zafar Islam, let me show you a visual, which, before I put it out, it doesn't really seem to suggest unpopularity. Many would suggest it could also be orchestrated, but these optics don't look good. Syed Zafar Islam, of your chief ministerial face campaigning for the third phase and being pelted with onions which are skyrocketing in terms of price, being pelted with stones. Syed Zafar Islam?
Can I respond?
Yes, please.
Yeah. See, I have seen that video. This is certainly the handiwork of RJD and their goons. Because he has not done one sabha, he has done many rallies, and the receptiveness of Mr. Nitish Kumar is exceptionally good. So this kind of handiwork is intentionally done by RJD and its goons, and only to create a bad perception. But they will fail miserably because it's a stunt which will backfire on them. Because people of Bihar, I'm also calling right now doing this show from Patna, and I'm also having spent my initial years, early childhood in Bihar, undivided Bihar, and I have seen the times of 1990 to 2005, whatever the development had taken place prior to 1990, everything has gone bad during the unruly RJD government, because they have done everything, they have undone everything what had been done by the previous government. They looted, they were corrupt, the criminals were given protection by the state. So nothing happened during 15 years of jungle raj of Lalu Yadav and Rabdi Yadav. But today we have something which you can yourself see, that how the development has taken place, how the per capita income of from 8,000 to 43,000 has gone up during this last 15 years. How the electricity, which had the connectivity of only 22% at that point in time, they now had 100% electrification has been done, and people are enjoying it because there's no load shedding these days. Then you have to see the economic activities, the GDP growth. You have to see from 3% it has gone to 11.3%. You have to see the industrial activities, from 0 to 17% the contribution. You have to see the agriculture activities, where the contribution.
But the Prime Minister, as I bring in Mr. Madhab, Mr. Syed Zafar Islam, the Prime Minister actually has gone ahead and said that till now we've only given you basic needs. Time for aspirations is now. Vote us back and we will fulfill aspirations. We've only given you basics till now.
So let me respond to that, because the immediate needs of any human being on the street or wherever they are living, It's roti kapda makan, and that is something which was missing earlier, and that's something which we have been able to provide. This government has been able to provide, of course, for meeting their aspiration. The youth is there in Bihar, and we know that we are a young country, so accordingly we are young Bihar. So they will definitely have aspiration. We'll create equal opportunities for all the people here.
Anand Madhav from the Congress is with us. Mr. Zafar Islam, I want to bring him in as well. Mr. Madhav, you have the BJP spokesperson says that yours is Jungle Raj, which happened today, which happens in usually the sabhas and rallies where you see sloganeering against the incumbent chief minister, is orchestrated by the likes of the RJD, your ally in Bihar, and you represent Jungle Raj, while for them it's Mangal Raj.
It's quite surprising. How can they say that they are the RJD goons? Why can't they be the goons from the BJP, planted by the BJP itself? As you know, what is happening in Bihar. You will be surprised to know the crime in Bihar has just doubled from 2010. And they are talking about the Jungle Raj. There is an increase of 150% of the crime in Bihar since 2005 till now. There is an increase in crime against women in Bihar, 175%. From the 2005 till now, and they are talking about this thing. They have not done anything. That's why they are just talking about Jungle Raj, and they are suffering with the Lalu phobia. That is truth. Development. Where is the development? You know very well that Niti Aayog very recently came out with the report, and in the development index, Bihar is at the lowest step. It's not that Anand Madhav is saying or any other person is saying. It's the central government is saying, because Niti Aayog is the body of the central government. In health arena, we all know how Bihar government has mishandled the COVID-19, and at the same time, how they have mishandled the migrant laborers, how they are mishandling this employment issue. You know that there is a vacancy of 450,000 in Bihar, existing vacancy, and when there is a vacancy against any sanctioned post, there is a budget. Why they have not fulfilled this? So they don't have any answer. That's why they, most of the time, when you ask them the question, they will jump into the last 15 years. They're not talking about their current 50 years, where everything has gone down. You know, health you talk about the health scenario in Bihar. What has happened? In 2015, the health minister of the central government, he went to Muzaffarpur and announced during the case of AES that the government is going to construct 100-bed ICU and childcare units for the children's of AAC sufferer children. Again, the same minister with the same portfolio of central government, they went to Muzaffarpur and announced the same thing. And
you
that
know, in the last few rallies,
this Mr. Mangal again,
Syed Zafar Islam wants to respond. I want to bring him in. Mr. Islam, in the last few rallies, you've seen the Prime Minister even actually, there seems to be a sense within the BJP. You know, I'm going to come to that point later. There seems to be a sense within the BJP that Tejashwi Yadav is being able to inculcate a vote bank where the youth is concerned. So even when the Prime Minister speaks to the youth, he says कि अपने माता पिता से बात करो कि जंगल राज क्या होता था. Is there a sense of uneasiness when Tejashwi talks of economic justice?
Not at all. Not at all.
Excuse me.
I'll come back to you. Mr. Madhav, I'll come back to you. Let him respond. Yes.
Not at all. In fact, youth is connected with BJP, so is the elder ones. And let me tell you a few things which is very important. If you analyze the rallies of the Honorable Prime Minister, the Nitish Kumar ji and Tejashwi Yadav ji, you will find one observation, very, very important observation, that women is missing in Tejashwi Yadav's rally. Why? You can understand that because the goons are there, and they all know that it's a trailer for them, what Jungle Raj they had seen, and their other Jungle Raj. If they should vote for them, then they will have to see another Jungle Raj, because women are not attending those rallies. But if you just, in contrast, you just see the Honorable Prime Minister rally, well, large number of women are there, and in terms of vote, if you just see who have voted more votes, it is women which have voted in Bihar. Even today, women has voted more in both the phases, first and second phases. And in the past also, women has voted more than the men. So that is very clear indication that the family, the people, by and large, like the India government, and it is the goons and the criminals. The they prefer the RJD and heavily supported by Congress party.
All right,
because
okay.
those people have seen the 50 days of Jungle Raj, where if you build a good house, somebody will come from Lalu Yadav's home and say that we need this home. And I have lived here.
Let me go back to Mr. Madhav. Mr. Madhav, respond there. Nitish Kumar had inculcated his own vote bank, which cut across caste and class, where women were concerned. Do you think women will be the ones who will come and pull out Nitish's chestnuts from the fire because there is heat in terms of anti-incumbency?
Women, they also know the fact. They also know the reality. You know how this prohibition is taking place in Bihar. And even my learned friend, he knows very well about the prohibition in Bihar. Women has supported Nitish Kumar, no doubt about it, but there were certain conditions. So what is happening right now? Even against the women, cases against the women, it is also increasing every day. 26% rise of the crime against women since 2017. So they will not talk about these things. They will just talk about the few things. The goons are there. Plus, you also need to understand, even in your party, there is a minister who has the criminal background. More than 18 cases of crime against Dalit are reported every day.
Mr. Madhav, you don't want to go there. Mr. Madhav, can I come in, sir? You really don't want to go there and start giving out figures, because if I start giving out the figures in RJD, how many criminals RJD is given tickets to, it won't all go well. Even if you look in the second phase right now, I just want to say out of 5 candidates, 2 have very strong criminal cases against them. It cuts across party lines, but yes, factually speaking, it is the RJD that has given more tickets to criminals this time around, Mr. Madhav.
Rishi, can I just come in
yes,
for a second?
Yes, Mr. Islam, come in.
See, the double standard of Congress, I really want to expose them, because I'm sure that everybody, especially the Congress party representative and more importantly the journalist fraternity, that Mr. Rahul Gandhi had very candidly and very explicitly had said in the past that the party will not associate with Lalu Yadav because of his criminal record. Today you see, they are piggyback on the Congress party.
But it's a little rich.
They are trying to,
Mr. Islam, the sad part is it's best that each political party refrains from this. You're none the better. Look at your candidates in Bihar. Sir, you have given tickets to family members of rapists. So let's not get there. Why do you want to broach a topic which will embarrass the both of you?
49% MLA with the criminal background.
He made a statement.
BJP has a 63% MLAs of criminal background, and this is what Anand Madhav is saying. This is what the SCRD and NCRD is saying.
Gentlemen, gentlemen, let's just close it here. Let's close this debate here. With both your permission, you both made points. Going ahead into the third phase, well, it's 7th November is when the third phase of polling takes place in Bihar. The counting is on the 10th. Who trumps, the incumbent or the challenger? We'll only know on the 10th. Thank you for watching. I thank our panelists. Up next is Rahul Kamal.